Hello, it's Paul here. I'm back in London, back with my books, thank goodness. I'm only here for a week, then I fly back to France. I have to be present at a few things. Then I'm coming back again to London for the 1st of September, and I'll be here for a while thereafter. But the reason for this video is I wanted to share with you some confirmed bookings of speakers over the next 4 weeks. There's some amazing speakers, and I wanted to give you the heads up on that. On Monday, the 16th of August, I'll be joined by Professor Harun Ma. He is an expert on the history of China, but particular reference to the history of Islam and China and the ongoing situation with the Uyghur Muslims in China. He is ethnically Chinese himself. He and his family are Muslims, but he is a specialist, and he's often called on by New York Times, BBC, whatever, many other media outlets to speak about the situation there. I was approached by a Muslim earlier on today up in Kilburn, and he asked me about the situation in China because he'd heard some terrible things on social media about what's happening, and he said, "Is this true?" And I said, "I've no idea, but I know a man who does." And Professor Harun Ma, who is a professor in the United States, will be here on Monday to talk about that. On Wednesday, on a very different subject, I'll be joined by Professor Harun Abramson, who is an historian at a university in New York. He's the academic dean. He has a YouTube channel, actually, and has many marvelous videos on the history of Jewish thought and the Talmud and so on over the last 2,000 years. I've asked him to speak about the medieval period and the relations between Muslims and Jews, particularly in the Jewish world, where Jews mostly flourished, and with a view to providing a counter-narrative to what's happened in very recent years in Palestine, where relations between Jews and Muslims have been completely destroyed, and this is not normal. The vast majority of history, relationships have been very, very different. So hopefully he'll be speaking as an expert on this subject, because he's taught at Harvard, Oxford, all over the place. He's a very distinguished chap. So that's on Wednesday the 18th. On the 20th, I fly back to France, and then on Monday I'm joined again by Sheikh Hassan Somali. He's a British-born Muslim. He's a Salafi, now living in Philadelphia. He's an imam and a very knowledgeable leader of the Salafis in that part of the world, looked to by many Muslims for leadership. And he'll be talking about that central concern in the Quran, Tawheed, and why that is so important to the Salafi perspective on the world. And then on the 26th, next Thursday, I'll be joined again by Professor Dale Martin. He's a professor at Yale University, one of the world's leading New Testament scholars. So fortunate, so blessed to have him on to talk about this subject, the Bible. This time he'll be addressing the Gospels that didn't make it into the Bible, because there's quite a few of those that didn't end up being part of Scripture. There's the Gospel of Thomas, which he'll be talking about a lot. There's a lot of historical material in there. Gospel of Mary, Gospel of Judas, Gospel of Peter, and so on. So he'll be talking about those Gospels that didn't make it into the Bible. Very interesting subject. And then the following week, on the 2nd of September, someone I know, Dr. Harun Ibn Ibrahim. He's a British Muslim scholar connected with the University of Cardiff, and he will be talking about, well, one of several possible subjects that has not been decided yet, but he's an up-and-coming young Islamic scholar, very talented, a great role model actually for Muslims in Britain in terms of their relations with the British culture and how that's going forward in the future. So here's a lot to say on that. And then on the 6th of September, an American scholar again, Celine Ibrahim. She is a very distinguished Islamic scholar in the States. She's just published a book which by Oxford University Press, which I'm going to hopefully read before then, basically about the Quran and gender, the Quran's portrayal of women figures. So she'll be talking about that and Islamic feminism in Islam and so on. And then on the 8th of September, a friend of mine who's just finished his postgraduate research at the University of Oxford, Usman Sheikh, will be talking about his dissertation, which addresses, amongst other things, some misconceptions that Christian scholars have, current Christian scholars have, about the Quran. And his thesis, which I read parts of, is very powerful and very well argued. And his thesis and his views are worth getting out there for sure. Now, those are the confirmed speakers. There are a number of other scholars who have kindly said they will come on. We don't have confirmed dates for them yet. When they do, I'll pass on the information via Twitter or via the YouTube channel. I'm aiming for about 2 a week. That's enough. I think I can handle that because a bit of preparation and work goes on before they come on. I'm still aiming to do my daily short videos where I read from Hadith. And by the way, this is the book I usually use, Book of Hadith, compiled and selected by Guy Eaton, as he's called, a British Muslim, a revert, who died a couple of years ago, but he'd been a Muslim for 50 years before his death. And like the grandfather of British Islam, I think Tim Winter called him. I only saw him once, but he's a lovely human being. He was based for many years at Regent's Park Mosque, my local masjid down the road. So that's the text I tend to read from. There's so many jewels in there. They're almost inexhaustible, and that's just a tiny selection of hadith. Obviously, it's not very long. And I'll continue to do ad hoc videos based on books. Now I've got my library here. I can perhaps pick a few more there. But anyway, I thought I'd give you an update, and thank you for listening. Until next time.